Well, Warrior Wrestling went to the Switchblade series with the arrival of Switchblade. And also we got Gatoh's latest ChocoPro event featuring Chris Brookes' birthday celebration. And also we cannot forget NXT Takeover 36, where we had almost a lot of good matches with title involved, and especially the special grudge match, the 2 out of 3 fall, the undisputed finale. So let's get started with another episode of Deleted WrestleZone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted WrestleZone. All things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, let's begin with Warrior Wrestling with the latest Stadium Series, or as they call it for this particular event, the Switchblade Series. So as you know, there was some change of plans because of heavy rain. Decided to move the Stadium Series inside the gym. Now this is the first time for a while they haven't done this, but the high school where they normally do their events gave them permission. So it's pretty good change of pace. Not gonna complain, but it worked. So the opening match, is of course for the Warrior Wrestling Women's title. We have the challenger, La Mera Mera Thunder Rosa, taking on Kylie Ray. Now, Kylie Ray, who came back after being gone for a while due to some mental health issues, well, she put the title on the line against Thunder Rosa. It was a pretty good match, very hard, not to mention Thunder Rosa being the same old Thunder Rosa we love so much we watch. Ugh. Excuse me. But however, she put Kylie Ray in that Peruvian necktie clutch or whatever she calls it, and forced her to tap out, becoming the brand new Warrior Wrestling Women's Champion. Now, as you recall, previously when she was the NWA Women's Champion, she was given permission to put that title on the line. And now it appears that Warrior Wrestling are giving her permission as well. So we may see that title be defended exactly at Mission Pro Wrestling. Next match we have Isaiah Velasquez versus Cole Raddick. I have to say it was a pretty interesting match. I've seen these guys before on previous events. Raddick, I've seen him on GCW. Isaiah Velasquez, I don't remember if I see him in GCW, but I know I've seen him previously in Warrior Wrestling once before, which is a pretty interesting thing to watch. Um, it was much of the junior heavyweight cruiserweight type of match, pretty amazing, but it was in fact Cole Raddick who picked up the victory with it, a surprising way to win. And I guess he couldn't believe it, but he did. Next match we got Jackson Crowley taking on Marco Stunt of the Jurassic Express, and AEW star. Yes, he's in there too. It's very interesting, but the entire time Crowley was brutalizing Marco Stunt. Now, the old saying is, don't let the size fool you. Exactly, that's what Marco did. He put him out with the 450 splash. 1, 2, 3. It's over. He won the match. The next match we have Jason Gotch taking on Dark Order member Evil Uno. Yes, Evil Uno's in this event. I was surprised. I have to say it was pretty darn good. And not to mention some great moments, not to mention he hurt his hand, so did his opponent. It was a very fun match, even though we may recognize Uno as a tag team specialist, but as a singles competitor, I have to say is a pretty thing to see coming out of him. I mean, he did a pretty good job as try to win the TNT title, but no avail. But he did pull off an amazing victory against Jason Hotch. It was pretty good. Now the next match is for the excuse me for the Warrior Wrestling Lucha title in between Mr. Iguana and the current champion Aramis. Pretty good high-flying Lucha Libre match. I enjoyed it a whole lot. Now, I would have assumed Mr. Iguana would have won it, but no, I think Aramis retained the title pretty darn good as always. I think they may want him to continue with this title no matter what, and I'm okay with the idea. The next match is Warhorse versus Beastman. Oh man, fun match. I have to say, Warhorse, you could never get enough of him. I mean, the guy is an animal. You probably would not imagine what he could do, but excuse me, but I was surprised that he was able to put out a bigger competitor than him, and he did. He put him up with the elbow, and 1, 2, 3, it was over. And of course, people say we could see these two team up down the line. I'm like, and they're calling them War Beast. Isn't there a name with the War Beast? I don't know, but we'll figure that out. Now, the next match is called Get My Shot Invitation, which is a medallion where they'll give you an opportunity to put the challenge for any title of your choosing. That includes the world title and the Lucha Libre title. But of course, they're saying, what about the women's title? You may never know. Now, the participants, majority of them are AEW stars. We have Dante Martin, Alan Five Angels, Chandler Hopkins, Casey Navarro, TJP, and of course, who better than Brian Cage. This is a pretty good fun match, I have to say. It was more like a scramble because anything could happen. Anybody could pull off a victory and win it by surprise, and that's exactly what Casey Navarro did. I was a bit of surprise. I would have assumed either TJP could have won it, but it was Casey Navarro. But the real question remains, which style he'll be going up against, and that's yet to be seen. This next match is between Sam Adonis versus I Bleed with the Switchblade. Or should I say breathe with the Switchblade? Yeah. I breathe with the Switchblade, Jay White. I have to say it was a good match too because I guess many fans would not have expected this, but it did. But it was a lot of great fun. Adonis, who has been on a losing streak in Warrior Wrestling, and he lost against one of the best wrestlers right now coming internationally. And I think this is a good thing for many fans to enjoy. I enjoyed it myself too, until he pulled off the Switchblade on Sam Adonis, and 1, 2, 3, it is over. Now the main event is for the Warrior Wrestling World Title between Jake Something and Trey Miguel. Now, Trey Miguel knows he's facing against a much bigger competitor. Anything could happen, and I mean anything. But it's really interesting how they're going with this whole thing, and I enjoyed seeing what they can pull off in this one because it just shows Trey Miguel has to step up a notch against a bigger competitor like Jake Something, and that's exactly what he did. He uses speed and ability to overpower the power of Jake Something and retain the title. So it's pretty amazing to see him do it, and I think it was a pretty good match, and I enjoyed it a whole lot. Now, before I end it here, it's been announced now that Warrior Wrestling will be coming back on the 16th of October, but apparently they are bringing a WWE legend to be part of the show, and that is none other than Bret the Hitman Hart. Yes, you heard me correctly, Bret the Hitman Hart. This is going to be on October 16th. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. So I'll end it right here for all of you and move forward. Okay, so right now we are in Gatoh Move, Pro Wrestling's latest ChocoPro event. Once again, Emmy, Sakura, or Lulu Pencil are not here. This is ChocoPro 147. This took place on the 22nd of this month. And of course, it's also known as Chris Brookes' birthday. So, basically, you can guess that nobody likes Chris Brookes on this one because A, they call him a bastard or the devil or however they want to call it. But it's a good, fun show. First match is a tag team match. We got Yuna Mizumori teaming with Antonio Honda taking on Sarui and Shelly. Now, this is a very interesting match. However, you know when it comes to Antonio Honda, there's going to be some comedy involved. You know that never changes. He's good as a performer, doing all of this as comedian. I don't know why people don't pay attention too much. Do I think this is one of the most weirdest events? No, but it's fun. And Antonio Honda somehow was able to pick up a victory for himself and for Yuna Mizumori to win the match. But however, it's not the end of this event. The next one we got Tokikiri Kirihara taking on Hagane Shonu. Shono, one half of the Egg Tarts. I have to say, Hagane really put up a good fight because he is strong. I can see these two, both uh, Tokiko and Hagane, they're both the strikers types, and that's a lot more fun. But however, you can somehow Hagane was able to pull up a roll up on Tokiko to win the match, and that kind of plays out in its own way, in like anything you would have imagined. So I have to say, he's pretty impressive as always. So, but Tokiko will have to get stronger and stronger every single time she faces someone like him. Now, the next match is the main event. We got Mei Shiruga teaming with Chiko Ishikawa taking on CDK, better known as Chris Brookes, and Masahiro Takahashi. This was one of the most fun matches I enjoyed. Now, Mei Shiruga, you can say she is a sly devil. They did a little bit of a comedy where they passed out some beers because they know Masahiro is a big beer drinker, and of course they put hot sauce. They throw in. I have to say, a lot of great moments in there, and especially when he put Mei Shiruga inside of a cabinet, and she was locked in there. Even she was trying to get her out, but there were some fun moments, and I'm like, wow, best match of that particular show. And of course, it did not end well for both. She apparently Chris Brookes put her in that little submission move that he now uses and forced her to tap out and allowing for both CDK to win the match one way or the other. Now, of course, we do the jogging tournament. I'm going to tell you who the winner is. The winner is Masahiro Takahashi. Uh, I'm pretty okay with that, but that's how I feel. But at this point, I can't wait to see what more of ChocoPro is going to happen now that Emi Sakura's not here. But we'll see what they're going to take us into the future. Okay, the last thing I'm going to review is the show we all been waiting for, NXT Takeover 36. Man, what a good show, I have to say. Pretty impressive. Great storylines. I love the matches. They're amazing. So let's go with the first match we have for the $1 million championship between challenger Cameron Grimes being accompanied by the $1 million man Ted DiBiase taking on LA Knight. I have to say, Cameron Grimes put up an amazing story where he is determined to prove he can carry the legacy of Ted DiBiase, but LA Knight believes he is the true fundamental of what the $1 million man is supposed to be. But of course, it's Ted DiBiase who now sees Cameron Grimes is a champion. He's a fighting guy. He's willing to fight no matter what it takes. And of course, he did give him some helping hand to win. I was amazed that he was able to pull off the victory when he caved in LNAI to win the title, to become the $1 million champion. And I have to say, it was a great story in the ring and great storytelling on this one. I have to say, really amazing. I love it. Next match we have is the NXT Women's Championship. Now, this was becoming a rivalry between two former best friends, now turned enemies. We got Dakota Kai, who has been in the shadows of Raquel Gonzalez. Things have changed for her ever since Io Shirai challenged Raquel, and now she wants to reclaim what rightfully belongs to her. And of course, she wanted to be the one person to tell her, I'm the one you overlooked. And I have to say, it was a pretty good match. It showed Dakota Kai was determined to win the match. But the real question is, could she make it through against a powerhouse like Raquel Gonzalez? The answer to that question is no. She kind of put her down in an avalanche, winning the match 1-2-3 and allowing herself to retain the title. However, that does not end there. Post match, we saw the arrival of the former NXT UK Women's Champion, the longest reigning Women's Champion in NXT UK history, Kaylee Ray. Now, some of you probably saying, we expecting her to go? Well, here's what I do know, so you guys can get a better understanding. After she lost her title, she actually got married, and rumor has it that she was going to be moving to Florida. Now, to me, hearing that, I think, okay, maybe we may see her in NXT, but nothing is confirmed yet. But now seeing her in NXT kind of confirmed it. And it kind of plays out that way because we've seen former NXT UK Women's Champions to leave NXT UK. We've seen that with Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley. I'm trying to think of anybody else. And now Kaylee Ray. It fits perfectly with them. And I have to say, it's good. I have to say, it's pretty darn good to see her. And we'll see what happens then. Now, the next match is for the NXT UK title. Dragunov and Walter Part 2. Oh my god. This match was one hell of a classic match I get to witness. Now, you can look at it this way. You look at Walter, who's the unbeatable, the unstoppable, who is determined to prove that the mat is sacred and that no one can match up to his abilities. And then you got a guy like Dragunov, who's been on a dark path, now is determined to prove that he is in the same level, that this is about him proving a point and facing off someone who he once thought was his friend, now turned enemy, and that is Ilya Dragunov. I have to say, the storytelling in the ring said it all, but I think the way it showed that Ilya Dragunov was determined to prove Walter wrong, that he is in the same level, and that plays out in a great way. Now, I've always been fans of seeing how great matches tell the story. If you want prime examples, I like Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada. Those matches are amazing. Tam Nakano and Julia. Those are great matches. And I think this one told a great story. And I enjoyed it a whole lot. So right now, Ilya Dragunov's dreams have come true. He is now the first ever superstar to ever dethrone Walter. There have been many who tried. You had guys like Pete Dunne, who was unable to do that. You had guys like Tyler Bate. Anybody who's been unable, it is possible. And I loved the match. Now the next one we have is the 2 out of 3 falls between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, the undisputed finale. First fall was a straight up match, basically a traditional match, and I have to say it was amazing. It was more like, how do I say, trying to make up the loss that Kyle O'Reilly had with Adam Cole in the Great American Bash, and Cole thought he was an idiot, but he was able to win that fall. So O'Reilly won that match, but however, we go to round 2, which is a street fight, which is the one that, of course, Adam Cole picked. He felt this is his wheelhouse, and it did. It helped him to win this one. to ensure. So even though he has one more, anything goes into this match. And of course, we've seen that what is it? In the third fall, we have the steel cage match. It started out where Adam Cole was trying to brutalize Kyle O'Reilly to ensure he does not make it through. Somehow O'Reilly got through, and not only that, Cole handcuffed him, but somehow was able to pull off a leg lock, forcing him to tap out. Now, you may have heard the rumors now, is Adam Cole leaving? There's been the indication it could happen. So we'll see where Adam Cole will deal from, since we know that his contract expired. But for now, let's just end it right here for this part. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of me reviewing Warrior Wrestling, the Stadium slash Switchblade series, Gatoh's latest ChocoPro event, and of course NXT UK. Coming up, I'm going to review GCW versus FCW, which FCW stands for Future Stars of Wrestling. There is another event features in that same name, Future Stars of Women's Wrestling, and excuse me, and also maybe we'll probably have All Elite Dark Elevation, and I'm trying to determine for a fourth review, and we'll see where they're gonna go. Either it's gonna be Ring of Honor or something else. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm a bit behind for the weekend, but I want to catch up to that. So right now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.